6 ways to self-care in a spiritual awakening. There we go. Here we are recording. Welcome, everyone. So lovely to have you all here. In case we haven't met before, I'm Ellie Paskell. I'm an embodiment coach, a somatic healer, a mindfulness-based pain management teacher, a guide for those going through the awakening process, and a creative. And the past 20 years has seen me take a deep dive on the initiations of what can be called chronic fatigue syndrome, Kundalini awakening, and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And this journey, which I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of hours in meditation with my body, has given me a deeper and exceptional understanding of the human body and what it takes to heal and what it takes to be happy and what it is that we really are as human beings, and therefore now the capacity to support other people to allow their own bodies to heal and to come home to who they truly are. Those two things are synonymous, and to create wonderful shifts in their lives. So that's why I'm here today holding this session. I'm so happy to be. I invite you to get yourself as comfortable as you can be. There's always that question right at the top here. This is a space for self-love. So what do you need to be as comfortable as you can be for this time? And you know this by coming to your body, right? Coming to what you feel. This is where the answers are. So does your body need any more support? Cushions, blankets? Do you want to change position? If you're somebody who tends to like to journal, I'm going to give you an opportunity for that later in the session. You may well have ahas, guidance coming through in the session today, so have your journal ready. Also, hydration, right? I've got a drink here. Do you want tea? Do you want water? Self-care. So here we are. 6 ways to self-care in a spiritual awakening. I'm curious for you guys what it is that drew you to this session. Right, the word spiritual awakening can mean really different things to all of us. And if you like, if it feels good for you, I invite you to share in the chat box what it is that's brought you. So for some people, spiritual awakening looks like what the medical system would label as psychosis, right? There's a big shift in the body or the mind. And there's something so obvious or big going on that we experience things very differently, and there can be a kind of a crisis, right? We can have what can be called a spiritual crisis. In my opinion, we're always breaking down to break through, but it can be really challenging at points. For others here, it might be much more subtle. You might have a simple sense that you're not the person that you were, right? You're not the person that you used to be. It might be that the parameters of your life are no longer quite making sense. The ground doesn't quite feel to be made of what it was made of before. Maybe you don't feel like you're wanting the same things. You want new things. You've got new passions, new desires. You don't want to go to that job that makes you feel horrid anymore. Right? You might have new abilities, clairsentience, clairaudience, psychic abilities. You might be having or have had a near-death experience. You might be journeying with challenge in the body, pain, illness, fatigue, and you sense or you know in your heart that really something important and profound is happening, and this is bringing challenge to your 3D vessel. Maybe for you, the word awakening means something else. So I invite you to take a moment or three here with that. What is it that's brought you to this session today? And as I said, if you want to share in the chat box, what it is that awakening means for you, where you are on that path. That's really welcome. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for being here and for being one who is awakening. We're here at this time on the planet that has been prophesied for millennia by almost every indigenous community, that we would come here now and there would be the great unraveling, and individually and collectively we would be doulaing, supporting our world through the birth canal to be rebirthed, to return from fear to love. That's why things feel so chaotic sometimes at the moment. That's why it seems like the systems are wild and crazy and breaking down, because because they're breaking down to evolve. And I invite you, if you like, to take a breath in this moment with what it is that is important to you in your life, what it is that makes your heart sing and reminds you what it's all about. Whether for you that's your family, nature, an animal, the trees, the ocean, creativity, that fire that flows through you when you're doing something that you love. Whatever it is that feels like the essential love, the essential life force of life for you, this is what we're doing this for. Right? We're in this awakening, and to return from fear to love, we have to make that journey within our own beings as well as in the outside world. That's how we know the way. That's how we're remembering the way. We are awakening. We are remembering the truth of life and what it is to be humans and what it is we need to do or not to do at this time. And that means change, right? And as I said, I'm here holding this session today because the past 18 years have seen me going through a change that's been very, very visceral. What can be called Kundalini awakening, so that my body no longer works in the same way it used to. It literally flows and functions differently. Sometimes I've felt like a freaking werewolf, like at midnight, like things changing. And maybe you can relate to that. Maybe for you it's been different. My training on this path, when it comes to me supporting other people on the awakening journey, has been with Elizabeth Sabet. Elizabeth, who I can't remember if she started or runs the American Center for the Integration of Spiritually Transformative Experiences. Also, Katie Mottram, who started the Emerging Proud movement. And I'm so happy to be with you here today, sharing some of the most wonderful ways that I've learned to self-care on the spiritual awakening path. And the first is to regulate the nervous system, right? So awakening means change, and our nervous systems, they tend to recognize change as threat. So when we're going through changes, we can often find ourselves in quite like an alert meerkat state. We're quite activated. We can be feeling really freaking frightened or freaked out some of the time. And so, in order to bring balance to this, my invitation to you in this moment, and we're going to continue with some regulating practices in a moment and throughout this session, is to cultivate a sense of present moment solidity. We are landing where we are now, right? This is how we allow our bodies to feel that they can manage this changing life. Because when we go a moment at a time, things are so much more easy, right? So I invite you in this moment to use your eyes if you like, or you can simply use your senses, the other senses, if you don't want to open your eyes. To land in the moment and orientate to safety by noticing that you're in a safe space. And if your environment right now doesn't feel safe to be doing this session, please move. And if it does, notice that. So you might notice that you can see things around you or sense things around you that are familiar, right? I can see my altar. I can see the lovely ornament of the rabbit that was recently given to me by a member of my family, right? Maybe you can see things in your environment that are familiar, that help you to feel safe and cozy. Maybe you can notice that the door is closed. Maybe you can sense that the air in this space is relatively still or it's relatively quiet, right? Whatever it is to you that is a cue of safety, notice that right now and let it register into your body. There is nowhere to go and nothing to do in this moment. You are safe. And this landing in the present moment by taking in your environment is something you can do anywhere, anytime. And the second way to self-care and an awakening that I'm sharing here is grounding. So often when we're in an awakening, our top energy centers are being activated. So the third eye, the crown, this can often be why we suddenly are able to be more psychic. We just know things about how other people are or what's going on in the world without being told it. And so as these kind of evolutions happen, and equally there's a need for grounding simply because if the nervous system is activated, grounding is wonderful to help bring calm. Also, if you are in an awakening where there's a lot of energy movement, that energy movement can often be ascending. So to come to the feet, to notice the ground, to feel the furniture beneath us, which we were doing before, is a wonderful thing to do. So again, invite you in this moment to let your awareness come to those places in your body where you feel yourself supported and held. So there'll be that gentle pressure between bottom and chair or feet and ground. Imagining roots dropping right down from your body deep into the earth. And allowing yourself to land here physically in this 3D space, body on the ground, body on the furniture, softening. Another wonderful way to ground in an awakening is to eat properly. Me as a person I've journeyed a lot with um, not eating enough, coming to a place of really learning to nourish and nurture my body, stop trying to be thinner and be thinner, which for a lot of people on the planet is a thing that we can consciously or unconsciously do, and learn to nourish and to love and to land and to ground with food. So regular meals, not letting yourself get too spacey, good carbohydrates, um, good proteins, whatever that means for you, whether it's beans, whether it's falafels, hummus, meat, whatever your body wants and needs. Good root vegetables are great for grounding. Right? And spending time in nature is another wonderful way to ground. Whether you're walking in nature and if you can't get outside, listening to nature sounds, immersing yourself in that natural environment, communing with the earth in that way, grounding. So take a breath with that. And notice in this moment if you want to wiggle about a little to allow your body to then land 1% more on what's holding you. What does grounding mean for you right now? And the third way that I'm sharing to self-care in a spiritual awakening is prioritizing your true need. And the reason I use the word true here is because when we are awakening, often we're becoming a new version of ourselves. Right. So for me, it was my sensitivities waking up. This has been a really important sacred process, being able to hear my heart, to hear my true needs, be sensitive enough to feel my connection with the energies around me. These kinds of things are very common. We're becoming extra sensitive, and in this world which tends to celebrate fastness and doing and words and logic and being out there and loud in the bright world, we can resist it if the person that we're becoming does not fit in with society. But a lot of society is insane. Right. So it's a beautiful thing when our needs are taking us away from the person that we used to be that may no longer fit in with insane society. And then we will have new needs. And so taking time to hear those needs by hearing the body, taking space to honor those needs, not the needs we used to have, the needs we have now. It's really important and beautiful and kind. And so this is something that I'm going to support you to do, particularly when we take our embodiment journey in a few minutes. But also right now, you might already have a clear sense of this, and you may well have a knowing in your heart and your belly that's saying, this is why I came to this session today. This is who I am right now, and this is what I need. No more people pleasing, no more bullshit. This is what I need. And this can mean all kinds of things. I wonder what it is for you. It might mean slowing down and resting. You know, when I first did my training as a guide for those in spiritual awakenings, I actually needed to learn or remember that to integrate the awakening process is necessary because change has happened. And I remember thinking, God, you know, at that point, yeah, I've had 10 years of really significant shift in my life and of becoming a new person. And my life has totally changed. And I've not stopped to acknowledge that. So that was a beautiful opening. And I offer that to you here now. It might be that you need space, time in nature, unscheduled time, playtime, time to be creative, time with a therapist or a coach to process what's happening or has happened for you. Right? Yeah. And so I'm curious in this moment how these words have landed for you. And let's take a few moments of silence here. If you like, noticing again your body here in the space on the ground. Seeing how your body and your heart are responding to what I've shared, what feels true for you. And noticing if there's something that your body would like to be even more comfortable in this moment. Do you want to move around? Is your body asking for movement? Sometimes it can be really regulating for the system to very gently move. This reminds our nervous system that we don't need to freeze. We're in a space where it's safe to move, safe to be seen. So moving gently as if you're water or in water. can be really nice. You might also find that you want to bring hands to your body, maybe to your chest or your belly or your lower back. You might want to make noises when you touch your own body. This activates oxytocin in your system, which helps you to feel safe. You might just want to give yourself an all-out hug. Ooh, or a shoulder massage like I'm doing. And the fourth way that I'm sharing today to self-care in a spiritual awakening is to have reverence for the path that you are on. When you're in an awakening, or those of us in an awakening at this auspicious time on the planet, really important things are happening. You are coming home to the truth of what it is to be you, what it is to be human. And the truth of that is that we're multidimensional. This isn't woo. This is physical reality. We have an energy body. We have a chakra system. We are part of this mind-boggling universe. We are nature. Our bodies are channels, are conduits, which are a bridge between the earth, which we are connected to, and the ether. Right? But because of what's happened in our human history, as a human family, particularly in the West, we've disconnected from this. And we've actually been guided to view what our bodies and our minds naturally do and naturally need as being wrong, being shameful. So this happened in part when we had the Roman Catholic Church taking power for around 900 years from 300 AD, and they disconnected us from our nature-based ways. Oh, and as I say that, I'm noticing that I want to wiggle around, and my body is saying, come back to the earth, right? And this disconnection and suspicion of our bodies and who we truly are in our fullest selves was further perpetuated during the witch burnings, 1350 to 1700, 1350 to 1750 AD, right? When it became unsafe, unsafe to be one who was connected to what we felt, unsafe to be one who cycled with the moon, who honored nature, who knew our true power, the incredible magic of what it is to be a human being. Those ones got burnt at the stake, right? So as a human family in our history, we've been through this horrid disconnection. But in order to create a world that serves the beings that we truly are, that feels like love for our children, we have to reconnect to it. And that's why so many of us are awakening at this time. Amidst this world that tends to look at those of us who are remembering our shamanic nature and puts us in mental institutions, who calls us broken or woo or hippies. So it is our job in the midst of this upside down perception to know and hold the loving truth of what's happening in our being. So it is my invitation to you to stay faithful to your wise heart by allowing yourself to see your awakening process with respect. Whew, and a big part of why I'm bringing this today is because my awakening process began with this horrid fatigue that came into my body when I was 22 in 2007. At that point, I had this successful career as an actress. I was performing regularly for millions, and my body kept shutting down. And my heart's knowing was that the fatigue was not bad, but that it was guiding me, that it was showing me, look, this is where you're disconnected from who you are. This is why you're able to be in a state of self-betrayal. This is why you're not eating enough. This is why you're people pleasing. This is why you're pandering to your agent. This is why you're able to ignore your body's needs. And the fatigue for me was a lighthouse guiding me, saying, there's another way. What you really want is empowerment, unconditional self-respect, unconditional self-love. You are here to do something mega, right? You're here to do something that lights you up, that aligns with this incredible period that we're in on Earth right now. And I knew that the fatigue was giving me courage to change how I was living, to travel deep down inside myself, to come through these initiations of what can be called chronic fatigue and PTSD. And this fierce desire inside of me to feel alive again. Like I could not deal with the fatigue. It brought me so much distress. Beneath it was deep despair, and I was willing to do anything to feel better again. So I've spent over 40,000 hours listening to the truth in my body. I've traveled across the world working with shamans and with healers. I allowed this magical journey to support me to let go of my old insane ways and to become the woman who I am now, who places aliveness and stable, rooted health and joy as my priorities. And therefore, I now have the capacity to support other people to do the same in their own unique ways. Right, this was my soul's calling, and I couldn't have done any of that without this challenge in my body that called me to throw off the ways that I used to live. Right, to step outside the bounds of conditioned conventional thinking. I had to hear the song in my heart that knew that what was happening in my body was to be viewed with love. I had to unshackle myself from the fear-based perspective that our very well-meaning medical system holds, that would have seen my experience as unhealable chronic fatigue and chronic pain and anxiety. I had to honor the song in my bones and follow what it was telling me to do. By following what brought me to life, I only went towards the teachers and the books that lit me up, that made me feel vitality. I took the actions and the inactions that made the energy in my body flow. I knew that it was not right for me to take the steps or listen to the people that made me feel ashamed of what was happening in my body or panicked. That I needed to follow my rainbow path, right? I needed to dance. I needed to be with nature. I needed to trust that I would receive the money that I needed, trust that I would go where I needed to go, receive the support, the comradeship, the friendships, the connections. I needed to allow myself to be with the freaking rage and the anger and the grief and the resistance that would rise up in me about this awakening, about this shift in my life, and hold it and honor it and see it and say, yes, I witnessed you. And also, I'm a listen to my heart who knows that the truth here is something wonderful. The truth here is synonymous with that journey of the caterpillar to the butterfly, right? Who goes through points when the caterpillar has literally become goop. The courage and the faith in that to trust. I trust nature. I trust my body. I trust my instincts. And this is what we're called to do now on these paths of awakening in our own unique ways, right? And all of this led me to do what I'm doing now, to retrain, to become a coach, to become a healer, and to know that every challenge in our lives is an invitation to step more firmly onto the path of our soul. There's no exception to that. So maybe for you, the doctors want to label what you've experienced psychosis or multiple personality disorder or, um, you know, general anxiety disorder or unhealable depression, but your heart knows that you've been awakening to the multidimensional realities of life and that you're in process, right? Maybe for you, like me, you've had challenge in your body and the medics would label you with unhealable illness. But your heart and your body know that you will be well when you allow yourself to follow the golden breadcrumbs. What feels right in your body? Who is your body inviting you to become? How are you being guided to let the true you out? And when you do, you will be well. When you do, you will feel that joy that you remember feeling as a baby, as a kid, as a toddler, right? Maybe for you, part of the awakening is that you just can no longer do the job that you have to numb up every day to go and do. And it feels scary to let it go because your family really approves of the job that you do now, but you know in your bones that there is another vocation that's calling you. There's something that's got your name on it that is going to bring you to life when you do it every day and that will make you even more money than you do now. Right? So the invitation now and when we take our journey in a moment is to come home to the knowings of your rooted, wise heart. Let go of the fear-based ideas of society that will invite you to panic, that will invite you to feel ashamed of who you're becoming, and celebrate. Right? Dance with this auspicious wonder that is happening. And doing this for me is how I've gotten well. Yeah. So I invite you to take a breath with that. We're going to journey in a moment, and the question, or one of the questions, is what was the seed of desire that you came in with as a little one? What is it that has mattered, that matters to you, that lights you up? This is a guide point, a lighthouse, a clue as to why you're on the awakening path you're on now. And I'm so excited now to guide you in this embodiment journey that's going to support you to open to more clarity on this. And you may have noticed that we've only done 4. We've only done 4 ways to self-care in an awakening. And I decided that I would stick at 4. 6 sounded really nice, so I kept it in the title, 6 Ways to Self-Care. But 4 is just way more manageable right now. And if there's anything that this journey has taught me, it's about the importance of manageability, of ease, in how we're living our lives and what we're doing, what we're not doing. Yeah, so I'm exemplifying that now with this meditating cat. And the fact that there's only 4 ways right now. And I've just shared a lot of words, guys. It's been a lot of information, so I invite you to take a breath, to notice how you're feeling. And we're going to go into our journey. So I invite you to notice the journey will be at least 15 minutes. So what do you need to be as comfortable as you can be for the next 15 minutes? Right? What do you need? Do you want to be in a different position? Do you want a blanket? Do you want to get up and move around, roll around? What do you need? Noticing if you want to be moving or still. Noticing if you want to be sitting or lying or standing. If you're lying, I invite you to have something to cover your eyes if that feels nice. And let us open to some grounding and regulation, first and foremost, again, as ever. If you like using your eyes, to take in the space, to notice that you're safe here. Noticing what tells you you're safe. Familiar pictures, paint on the wall. Maybe it's the feeling of the ground beneath your body. Maybe it's the smell of your tea or some other smell that you can smell in your space. And if you like, bringing hands to your body, your heart space and or your belly, and allowing yourself to land 1% more on what is holding you by saying or thinking the words, "Here I am." Here I am. You can only get this right, and you're right where you need to be. And now, if you like, allowing your awareness to come to your heart. If you like, I invite you to bring your hands there. So you might be working with the physical heart to the left of the chest, or the heart center, the middle of the chest. Feeling into or sensing into the energy that is here. Now, that might be for you coming through with a real, like, you can feel that. Or it might come through for you as more of an image in your mind showing you the color or the quality of the energy that's here in your heart. Notice how unjudgmental this is. When your eyes of your heart perceive you, they see you with nothing but love. Noticing that your heart has some roots that drop right down through your torso, your hips, your legs, your feet into the earth. And now allowing that awareness of your heart to take in the fact that you've got a lower body here. So you've got feet and you've got legs. You might want to wiggle your toes or even give your feet a bit of a massage. And you've got hips, you've got genitals, you've got a tailbone, pelvic bone. Noticing what it's like to have your awareness in this lower part of your body, what you can feel. Maybe you're particularly aware of numbness. With great kindness, simply noticing, and if there's any sense of resistance or resentment or fear, letting it be with great kindness. And if there's any sense of joy, aliveness, peace, letting it be with great kindness. And then allowing this warm awareness of your heart to take in your upper body and what's here. What's it like for you to land in your back right now? Is there sensation or lack of sensation? Maybe there's challenge here, like pain. If there's challenge in your body, I invite you to welcome it in the same way that you would be with a loved one who was hurting. Everything that you feel gets to be here, and the same through your torso, whatever you can notice, belly, lung space, heart space, shoulders, arms, hands, neck and throat, and head and face. Noticing what it's like to invite your face to soften. Noticing what you can be aware of in terms of emotion moving through you. Noticing with great kindness what's here for you. Maybe that feels clear or confused or numb. You can only get this right. And then landing back with your wise, rooted heart, who sees with calm, with trust, with faith. And with your next breath, if you like, allowing yourself to be transported to your realm of self-reverence. So you might see this in your mind's eye, or you might simply have a sense of it, this space where your body and the being that you are today are completely met. So whatever it is that you're needing, whatever your body is feeling and needing in order to feel supported, to feel delicious, maybe your body wants to feel calm. Maybe your body wants to feel safe or excited, inspired. Maybe your body wants to feel pleasure. Whatever your body most wants to feel right now, this realm of self-reverence gives that to her or him or them. So maybe you're in a natural space, surrounded by trees, rooting into the earth. Maybe you're in a soft, cozy womb space with pillows and cushions and a bed or a sofa. Maybe you're running around in an art studio with your favorite music playing and you get to do whatever feels good. Maybe you're standing under a waterfall of warm tropical water and it just feels so good on your body. Notice what's here for you and how your body is responding. And from this place of reverence, I invite you to take a moment of awareness with the fact that you consider yourself in some kind of shift or awakening at this time. And how that is for you. What that's been meaning for your life, how you've been feeling, where you've been going, what that's been like. What you've been doing or not doing, how that's been for you, in what way your sacred system is awakening, and what that's meant for you, your experience of life has been, particularly the past 7 days. What are the moments when you felt like, oh, that's really good, that feels good, that's serving me well? And the moments when you've thought, oh no, that feels awful. Like, I need something else. I need something. I invite you in this moment to come to your rooted, wise heart, that loving voice inside of you, and let it tell you what you're most needing in order to self-care during your awakening at this time. What is your body, your soul, your wise, rooted heart telling you most need at this time, and how can you give that to yourself over the coming month? How can you give that to yourself over the coming months? Let your heart tell you. Beautiful. Now I invite you to notice that within this realm of self-reverence that you're in, there is a timeline of your life. And this might be mapped out in images, pictures, maybe photos of you, in words or in some other way. And on it, you can see the point in your life where it was just before you came into your body. And it's right up to where you are now. You've moved through being a precious baby, made of nothing but love. And when you came in as this baby, you had the seed of your soul in your heart, right? You had your soul's purpose here. And throughout your life since then, this seed has rooted and blossomed and shown itself to you by showing you, oh, this is what I really like. This is what makes life meaningful and beautiful for me. What is that for you? This may have shown itself to you in your life at times through some of your greatest challenges. The moments where you've really come up against something and it's shown you what's mattered to you. And I invite you to notice that on this timeline of your life that's here, you can see it coming right up to the point in your life that you're at now. You can see yourself present at this incredible time on earth, doing the evolving that you're doing at this time, the awakening that you're experiencing at this time, and you can see how that connects to your wise rooted heart and the seed of your soul. And with your next breath, I invite you to tune in to that voice of your heart, that knowing, that solid knowing that everything is okay, that you're right where you need to be, that you get to trust this process, that you get to trust what your body and your mind and your soul are doing, that you can trust life, that you can let go, and you get to notice and honor and celebrate the beauty that's coming through here. You get to notice what it is about this awakening process for you that is bringing you deeper and deeper onto the path of your soul. I invite you to let your heart show that to you now, why it is you're in this awakening, what it is you're receiving, what it is you're bringing in for the world, and what it is you're receiving that you truly want. Sometimes parts of our paths feel difficult, and we are always opening to what it is our souls truly want. Why are you on this path of awakening? Is it time for you to really embody who you truly are? Is it time for you to take a leap of faith? Is it time for you to find the courage and the means to bed into stability? What is the fruit of this awakening for you? Are you being guided to create? Are you opening to another path that brings you even more joy and health and aliveness? Are you learning about the truth of life, the truth of your being? Are you being supported to connect more deeply with those around you, open to receive huge amounts of money? What is it for you? Why has your soul chosen this awakening at this time? I invite you to notice that. Let your heart tell you. And you'll know the truth of this when it lands because it'll feel like love, or it'll feel like relief. Oh, it'll feel like ease or kindness or energy, expansion, peace, something that feels good in your body. I invite you to notice how that loving truth feels for you right now. How it feels to view your journey with reverence. Wonderful. And now, as we begin to nose towards the end of this practice, I invite you to notice how you'd like to record the guidance that's come through. Do you want to journal it down? Do you want to write down how your heart has guided you to view and understand this journey of your awakening and how to take care of yourself at this time? Or are you happy simply to let the knowings percolate and move through your body, to trust that they're landing? Please do whatever feels good to you. Write it down if that feels great, or just be with it if you'd rather. Wonderful. Oh, and now as you're ready, I invite you to thank yourself for taking this time to journey with your heart. Thank your body and your soul and your heart for communicating with you. And as you're ready, allowing yourself to land back in your 3D living space, noticing that you can feel your body on the furniture or the ground. If you like, bringing a bit of movement to your body, you might want to wiggle your toes, your fingers, massage your jaw. And if you like, blinking some light into your eyes and taking in the space, taking in the screen, reorientating to your place in this community. Welcome back. Yeah, welcome back, everyone. Oh, it's so beautiful to see you all. Welcome back. And you know, guys, at this point, if any of you guys are feeling curious about how it would be to coach with me in a one-to-one space, That's certainly something that we can talk about. I often say if you have a spidey sense, an inkling, something in your belly which is saying that you think that coaching one-to-one with me might be your next step, then we can have a chat. I invite you to schedule it in for what I call a connection call. So this is simply a phone conversation of about 20 minutes in which I support you to share what it is that you're truly yearning for in your life. You get a feel, discover how I could support you to bring that to be. And they tend to be really delicious, these conversations, and they're no obligation, they're free. And you can schedule that in with me simply by going to, so it's elliepaskell.com/connect. And I'll put that link in the chat here. It's also in my email that will come out, and it's beneath the video if you're watching the replay. And coaching with me will be most supportive for you if there's something that you are ready to bring into your life, whether that's more energy, whether that's allowing your body to heal, whether that's showing up as who you truly are, giving space for your creativity, manifesting soul-inspiring work, showing up in your relationships in a way that feels equal, right? Or something else. But you're feeling called to do this, not in the ways that you've done in the past, maybe with pushing and trying and shoving and abiding, but in the way that's truly your way by following the guidance in your body. And that's what I'll support you to do. So if you want to talk about that, see how that feels, that's elliepaskell.com/connect, and we can set that up. Yeah, right? Slow down, rest, play, do what feels good. It's dynamite. And this stuff, it's so beautiful and it's so delicious and it's what we know as children and it's what gets conditioned out of us and we're told there's no time for that. That isn't the way. That is the way. This is how you manifest £100,000 in your bank account. This is how you create the work that supports your family. This is how you allow your body to heal so you have the energy to show up for the life that you want to be in. Like, these are not soft skills. These are freaking power tools. Joy, embodiment, listening, play, alignment. This is how we align with God, Goddess, the universe. This is who grows the trees, right? No businessman or scientist has yet really started to understand how these things happen. This is how we channel that incredible intelligence. Slow down, rest, play. Do what feels good. It's dynamite. This is how we rebirth our world. And let us take a moment here to close down this space. So, if you like, I invite you to let your eyes close or to rest them with a soft gaze. Noticing if you want to come straight to stillness or if you want to jiggle a little, shake your hands. Massage your jaw, wiggle your bottom, make a noise, whatever feels good for you. And then letting yourself land here for a moment, honoring the fact that you've taken this time and knowing that you get now to take the wisdom, the clarity, the fire, the love, the nourishment from this session into your month. May you do exactly what you need to self-care on your path of awakening. I'm already looking forward to seeing you all next month. All right, everyone. Well, if you would like to unmute and use your voice to say goodbye now, I'm going to invite you to do so. If you've been feeling a little shy and you feel like maybe this is a moment to show your face, oh, there you are, guys, coming back on. I see you. This would be a good moment. You're really welcome. Oh, gorgeous to see you guys. And yeah, so much love.